Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Everyone knows that especially in our COVID-tightened job market, networking is key to landing a good job. Here's an approach to networking that has worked for a number of my clients. I call it the 10 seed model. You see, networking is like planting seeds. If you plant 10, if you're lucky, you'll get 7 to germinate. Additional watering and time is required to see if it turns into a lovely plant or one that's too flawed. Well, here is how that metaphor translates to networking. Step 1. List the 10, and more if you're more motivated, 10 people you'd much like to and have a realistic chance of working for. If it's an organization rather than a person, use LinkedIn or a Google search to find an appropriate person within that organization. LinkedIn lets you search on title, alma mater, former employer, etc. Read a few profiles and intuit who you think might connect best with you. Step 2. Decide whether you're going to do better writing or phoning. If writing, try to find their email address by Googling their name, the organization, the word email. For example, Deborah Michaels, put that in quotes so it looks for Deborah Michaels as a phrase, Trader Joe's as a phrase, and the word email. Or use LinkedIn's InMail, and the first month's membership is free. Now, that won't work. Either one won't work 100% of the time, but it should work often enough. If you're planning to phone, Google search to find the organization's main phone number. Try this. Name of the organization and the word headquarters, phone number, and then that should get you that headquarters number. Then Google the first 6 digits of that number and the person's name. For example, 650-723 Deborah Michaels. Even if you can find only the organization's main number, whether you get a live person or automated system, you should often enough be able to get connected, at least to the person's voicemail. As with a search for an email address, this won't always work, but often enough is good enough. Step 3. Carefully craft your message. First of all, know that if it's under 100 words, it suggests inadequate interest. Longer than 200 may be asking too much of a stranger's time. More important, of course, is what you say. Here's a sample, pretty much appropriate for either an email or a phone ask. Dear Ms. Michaels, I recently completed my bachelor's in human resources management, and the further I got in the program, especially in my fieldwork and internship, the more my interest in the field grew. While at this point I'm open to much in the field, I have a special interest in managing the racial and gender tensions that seem to be accelerating in many of today's workplaces. I'm writing to you in hopes of advice or even a lead on a job. Yes, part of why I chose you is because I live near your headquarters, but in reading your LinkedIn profile, I noticed your interest in a fair-minded exploration of race and gender issues in the workplace. I'd really appreciate your calling me, perhaps with a bit of advice on how I might launch my career or, dare I hope, even a job lead. Thank you for considering it. Sincerely, Joe Jobseeker. Step 4. Rehearse just a bit, because over-rehearsing ensures sterility. And because you're so tied to the script, there is an increased chance you'll get flummoxed. Then replace your script with a few bullet points and make the queries. To avoid procrastination, and I'm talking, by the way, about a phone. Obviously, you can use your script when you're sending an email. To avoid procrastination, do them one after another. Start with your lowest priority person first, because you're going to get better with each one. And do remember, they're not expecting a polished speaker. Just speak your truth, concisely, with moderate enthusiasm. And when day is done, good things are more likely to happen than if you didn't make those reach-outs. Also remember that you're not asking for a handout, merely a bit of advice, which most people, when they're not busy, are pleased to give. And as long as you promise yourself that when you're in a position to help someone else, you'll do so. The karma is all good. Step 5. Typically, you're going to get a response from only half your reach-outs, and of those who respond, most or even all will say they have nothing for you other than maybe a bit of advice. At that point, ask if the person wouldn't mind keeping his or her ears open, and if you're still looking for a month from now, if the person would mind you circling back. Step 6. Write an influencing note. This is a more potent version of the thank you letter. Explain how you benefited from their advice and reiterate your appreciation that they're open to your recontacting them. And finally, step 7. Do any homework the person suggests. If you're lucky, a person will suggest that you read something, attend some virtual meeting, whatever. Do it promptly and then email the person and say you've done so and that you found it valuable, if it's true. That demonstrates you're being a follow-through person and are appreciative. I wish that landing a good job were easier than it is. Alas, it's harder than ever amid the COVID economic shutdown. But this approach to networking has helped a number of my clients, and I hope it helps you. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and I especially like you if you hit the share button below. share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.